Hi, I'm Ken. This is Losing It 2025. Welcome to the Week 40 update. This week, I'm going to take you through days 1 through 7 of my 14-day attempt to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks. This is the last 10 pounds that I need to lose in order to achieve my goal of having lost 100 pounds in 2025. This is a hodgepodge of a video. I didn't edit very much. It's here. It is what it is. It's long. I'm not making you any promises except to say that I'm going to share with you the journey that I've been on. Next week, hopefully I'll do a little bit better job of filming and editing, and it'll be a little more succinct. But this week has been an incredibly busy week, so it is what it is. Watch it, don't watch it, it's up to you. Whichever you prefer to do, I completely understand, but I want to welcome you to join me on this journey and to see where it ends up. Thanks for watching. This is day 1 of 14 days to lose that last 10 pounds. Starting out with a morning walk, trying to get the week started off right. This is day 1 of 14 days. 14 days of discipline. 14 days of motivation. 14 days dedicated to finishing off the last 10 pounds of this 100-pound journey. 14 days, 2 weeks to lose 10 more pounds. On January 1st of this year, I weighed in at 334.5 pounds. On January 1st of this year, I stepped on the scale at 335.4 pounds. I had hypertension, I had type 2 diabetes, I had really bad edema and swelling in my legs. Things were not looking good. I realized at that point that I had to make a change. It wasn't that I wanted to make a change. No, I had to make a change. I was desperate. So I had to do something about it. After prayer, research, and a lot of thought, I made the determination to go on a whole food plant-based diet. And for the last 9 months, I've been making great progress. At this point, as of yesterday morning, I weighed 244 pounds even. So I've lost over 90 pounds. And I have about 10 pounds to go to get to my goal weight. I want a couple pounds extra to be over the line just to make sure that I stay over the line, if that makes sense. And I've gone back and forth between 243 all the way up to as high as 247 over the last couple of weeks. My progress seems to have stalled out a bit. And it isn't because my plan wasn't working. It's because I had gotten lazy with my plan. I had lost some motivation. Maybe I wasn't as desperate as I had been. Maybe the fact that I've already been able to reverse the effects of my type 2 diabetes and come off of all blood sugar medication. Maybe that was what it was. Maybe it was the fact that I had dropped from a size 50 waist on my jeans to a size 38. Maybe it was that. Maybe I had made enough progress so that I no longer felt like I had to change and I was just doing it because I've set this goal and because I want to. I don't know if those are the reasons or not. But what I do know is my motivation waned. And my discipline and my determination were wearing thin. And so I've recognized that I need to dial in again and recommit to doing the things that have proven to work. I've stuck with my plant-based diet. I haven't varied there. but I had gotten lax with a few things, and over the next 2 weeks, I'm going to reverse all of that, commit myself to doing the things that I know work, and see if I can drop this last 10 pounds in the next 14 days. Today is day 1. I'm out for a morning walk. I am 1.52 miles into this morning's walk, and feels good. Feels good. So, what am I going to be doing over the next couple of weeks? I'm going to report in on this video each and every day over that 14-week period. I'm going to weigh in every morning. I'm going to log my food and keep track of the things that I eat consistently and faithfully. I'm going to exercise every day, at least in some small way. And I'm going to up my step count to 15,000 steps a day, closer to the 20,000 a day that I know I'm capable of if I give it the time that it needs. So those are some of the goals that I've set for myself, some of the input goals that I've set for myself. And I am eager to see how close to that 10-pound loss I can get over these next 2 weeks. I hope that you'll join me for the journey. Stick around for the rest of today's video, and let's see how I do. All right, rounding out my walk on day 1, just finishing it up, just clocked over 2 miles. My time wasn't great. Of course, I'm walking, not jogging, so I'm not super concerned about the time, but as you can see, it's gone from dark to light, from night to day. So, time to go get the rest of this stuff started. So what's for breakfast? Today we have what I call a 3B smoothie. This is black beans, broccoli, and a banana, as well as a tablespoon of Hershey's cocoa powder. No sugar added. This has 68 grams of complex carbs, only 6 grams of fat, and 20 grams of protein. Let's see how it is. I've never tasted this recipe before. It smells like a banana. You're not going to want to drink this because it tastes good. It kind of tastes like nothing, but I'm okay with nothing. Let me try that again. It's not bad. It's not good. It's really kind of tasteless. So if I'm experimenting and trying out foods that I'm going to consume just for the macros, this is a win. With only 6 grams of fat, 20 grams of protein, and only 383 calories, it gives me the nutrition I need to start my day. Does it taste great? No, it doesn't. Does it taste bad? No, it doesn't. It really kind of tastes like nothing. So, yeah, I wouldn't make it this way again. If I do make this again, which I will, I'm going to have to tweak it a little bit. So probably when I try this next time, I'm going to add a couple of dates to add a little more sweetness, and we'll see how that goes. Every day we make choices in our diet. Do we undereat, trying to reduce calories so much that we're just never satisfied? Do we choose the wrong thing? High fat, high salt, high caloric density foods that may make us feel good for the moment, but make us feel terrible in the end? Or do we choose the healthy option? Something that's going to be enough food to satisfy us, but isn't going to overburden our systems with too much fat, too much sodium, and too much sugar. Something that has complex carbohydrates, protein, and all of the nutrients that we need to help us stay healthy. All right, it's time for lunch, and what I have here today is black beans and brown rice. I picked this up at Walmart, the dry beans and the brown rice, a pound of each, and I cooked these in my Instant Pot last night, so let's see how they are. Yes, these are a win. The beans are a little firmer than I wanted them to be, but they're definitely done enough to eat. They taste good. And again, I got everything that you saw in that video for less than $25, making this a very, very affordable lunch. And did I mention this is 20 grams of protein? Really good stuff. Overnight oats, only $1.49 per container, and 20 grams of protein. Don't tell anybody. Overnight oats. You don't just have to. You don't have to have them just for breakfast. You can have them whenever you want to. It's true. They're good. I don't care where you are. It doesn't get much prettier than that. I was very happy to come home and find that my wife had made an oil-free minestrone soup with black beans, corn, peas, carrots, noodles, and all kinds of wonderful goodness. This soup is absolutely delicious. Hey, it is lunchtime, and I don't know what you're having today, but ooh, I'm lucky. I'll tell you what. I had planned on having another helping of the black beans and rice that I had yesterday, but when I got home last night, my wife had made this incredible soup. It is kind of a combination between pasta fagioli and minestrone. It's a bit of a blend of those two concepts, but there is just tons of great stuff in here. We've got carrots, we've got corn, we've got pinto beans, we've got black beans, onions, these little round noodles, I don't know what they're called, but so much wonderful stuff here. I'm gonna have a bite. This is fantastic. And listen, I can eat this soup guilt-free because one of the best things about the way that she makes it is she doesn't use any oil. So often when people are making a soup, they'll often saute their vegetables in oil, like olive oil or something. And now, while I understand some fats are important and necessary for our health, adding oil to sauteed vegetables is just unnecessarily adding fat that you could easily do without. I can't taste the difference between this soup versus a soup that has been, made with sauteed vegetables. But you know what? Those have a lot of extra fat and calories, because have you ever noticed in those cooking videos where people are like, oh, just a little bit of oil, like a tablespoon or two. And then rather than measuring the tablespoon, they get their pretty little oil bottle and just glug, 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 glug all over. That's not a couple tablespoons. That's like a quarter cup of oil you put in there. At least that's what I think. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But yeah, this soup is amazing. So what are you having for lunch today? Let me know in the comments. I can't wait to hear.
So we'd always get like a series going that we'd watch together.
Yeah. Binge watch it.
Binge watch, yep.
Yeah.
And then he's like, it got to that point where he's like, there's nothing good on it. Sorry, Chris. So then
It's okay.
The whole Sherlock season, so we just watched.
I was starting to feel bad for starting so late, but then as I'm sitting here, I'm just looking around the room watching y'all talk, and I'm like, I could let them go like this for the next 20 minutes, and they would not slow down.
Yes, that's very true.
So so true.
We all like being together.
There you go. Amen. Amen. Well, y'all ready to worship?
Yes.
All right, let's go to the Lord in prayer. Your love, oh Lord, reaches to the heavens. Oh, I will walk by faith, even when I cannot see. Time and time again throughout this chapter, we're going to see that the word faith is intimately connected with verbs. By faith, they did this. By faith, they did that. Faith does something. If faith isn't doing something, then it isn't really faith, because James tells us what? That faith without works is dead. So faith is the substance of things hoped for. It is the evidence of things not seen. For by it, that is by faith, the elders obtained a good testimony. Hey, welcome to lunch and another moment of plant-based on a budget. Today I am having a serving of the black beans that you saw me buy on my $25 Walmart shopping trip the other day. Instead of the brown rice though, I'm having some quinoa and bulgur that I picked up at HEB just for a little variety. So the quinoa and bulgur was $1.34 per serving. The beans were 25 cents per serving. So these two together are only $1.59 for lunch today. In addition to that, it's 24 grams of protein and only 510 calories for a plant-based lunch that is packed with protein and is going to keep me satisfied throughout the entire afternoon. So I'm just telling you guys, it is not impossible to eat a plant-based diet on a budget and still get the protein that you need each and every day. Cheers.
Listen, results happen over time, not overnight. Keep working, stay consistent, and be patient. Your time is coming.
All right, it is day 4 of my 14-day challenge, trying to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks. Thank you for sticking with the video so far. So my choices for lunch today are pretty standard, but I already had breakfast, and that was a black bean smoothie, another rendition of the one that I tried yesterday. Remember the beans that I purchased in my $25 shopping trip to Walmart? Yeah, I used some more of those. But this time, instead of just broccoli and mustard greens, which I did add to this, well, rather instead of... All right, this is day 4 of my 14-day challenge to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks. So today I had a black bean smoothie for breakfast, much like the one that I had yesterday, but I tried to make it a little bit better. And I think I did. It was definitely more flavorful. It was a little heartier, and it was also more calories. I mean, that's what happens. You add more stuff, it gets more calories in it, right? So today's recipe for the smoothie was 1 cup of black beans, 1 cup of mustard greens, 1 cup of broccoli. I opted to not use the banana, and instead I used a cup of blueberries, and then I used a couple of dates and a couple of tablespoons of PB Fit powder. It was an interesting concoction. It was pretty thick, and you know, again, not my favorite recipe, but better than the day before. I ended up consuming 533 calories in that smoothie, with 28 grams of protein. So it was a pretty hearty smoothie, and it kept me full well until lunch. So now I get to choose. I've got an apple, beautiful little Honeycrisp apple here for a snack. I'll have that later. But I've got the black bean, quinoa, and bulgur that I had yesterday. This is 510 calories and 19 grams of protein. But then I've also got some of these protein-packed oats, which is 444 calories and 20 grams of protein. I had this yesterday for lunch, and it was good, and I hate to not use leftovers the very next day. I could eat all of this, right? I could eat one of these for lunch and the other for dinner, and that would leave me about 300 or 400 calories left for the remainder of the day. If I wanted anything else. But for now, I think I'm going to go for the oats because I already had beans in my smoothie, And if I have these in addition to the beans I already had, that's 2 full cups of beans. And I think that maybe the oats might be the better option. Oh, the hat. It's hat day here at the high school. So a bunch of us are wearing hats. So this is actually my favorite hat. I'm going to talk about my hat for a moment. This took me a while to figure out what kind of hat this is. At first I thought it was a fedora, but the brim is too short to be a fedora. And then I thought, well, maybe it's a pork pie, but a pork pie has the brim folded up in the top, right, and in the back. This one has the brim up in the back and down in the top, as you can see, which makes this a tribly. Anybody else know what a tribly is? That's a tribly. At least I believe it's a tribly. If you think it is some other kind of hat, please let me know. But it is my favorite hat, and I know it looks a little cheesy, but I like it. It's getting a little beat up. I've had it so long, but the more beat up it gets, the better I kind of like it. So yeah, that's my hat, and I'm wearing that because it's hat day. But long story short, too late, right? Long story was already long. It is going to be the overnight oats that I made yesterday for lunch today. So let's go ahead and enjoy those. That's very satisfying. So I'm going to have the oats for lunch, this apple for a snack, and I'm going to hold these in reserve, put them in the refrigerator, and maybe I'll eat them later for dinner. Maybe I'll save them till lunch tomorrow. Maybe I won't eat them at all. I don't know. I hate to waste them because these are a great protein source, and they're very satisfying. So I'm going to hold those in reserve. I'm going to have this $1.49, this $1.49 bowl of oats for lunch, and call it a win. See you later. All right, so that was dinner, and that puts me within about 50 calories of my caloric budget today. So I've got 50 more calories of room. Probably not going to use that. Maybe a tiny piece of fruit tonight if I get hungry again, but I don't think I will. That was a pretty hefty dinner. Off now to go do a hospital visitation and wrap up the rest of my responsibilities for this evening. So that's day 4, and things are going great. All right. Hospital visit over. Everybody's doing pretty well, all things considered, and I'm walking back to my car. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to get my 10,000 steps in today. I'm going to probably end up about 1,000 shy. Not sure I have time for a walk, but hey, you never know. So getting the steps in here while I can instead of getting a ride back to my car. I parked on the wrong end of the hospital. Where I parked was the old emergency room, and they've built a new one since I was last here. So, yeah, a little bit of a walk this evening, which is good because, like I said, I need the extra steps. So, speaking of steps, I'm going to go down some right here, head on down these steps into the parking lot, and I'm going to say that that is a wrap for day 4 of my 14-day challenge. You have a good evening. All right, it's day 5 of my 14-day challenge to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks, heading into training where I get to sit in a chair all day. So yeah, I'm not going to get those steps probably unless we go for a walk later. But we are starting with a good smoothie. I did start with a good smoothie. Hello, say hello, Freda. Hello. This is my wife and health coach. So, all right, y'all. We'll try to have a good day. We usually go out to lunch on professional development days, especially when we're training at the same location. Today we ended up at Subway, where I got a Veggie Delight wrap and some baked lays and unsweet tea. I usually have them put all of the vegetables on my Veggie Delight wrap, except for maybe tomatoes, which I sometimes leave off because they can make it soggy. This particular Veggie Delight wrap was absolutely delicious and nutritious as well. At 573 calories, including the scoop of avocado and the baked Lay's, I was perfectly satisfied and it made a really good lunch. In combination with my smoothie this morning, it put me right on track for the macros that I wanted for the day. Oh, hey, yeah, tonight's dinner is overnight oats. Look, that's part of the point that I've always tried to make, is that these things can be used for breakfast, lunch, dinner, a snack, whatever time you need them. Oats are not just for breakfast, friends. Oats are awesome, and I need a quick dinner. Haven't had time to cook, been out picking up supplies for a few different things, and so overnight oats is what's for dinner tonight.
My music hit me so hard, makes me say, oh my Lord.
So it is day 6 of the 14-day challenge that I've set for myself to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks. I am at our men's fellowship breakfast today. We have these once a month. Let's go see what there is for me to have this morning. No. Maybe. Oh, I do miss those. Those are chorizo and egg burritos that a buddy of mine made. They are fantastic. That's a no. Peanuts and, there we go. Got some good overnight oats right there. That's breakfast. No, I'm just kidding, not the whole bowl. For lunch, I'm having a smoothie. Same recipe as the last one, really delicious. And it does have some of those black beans in there as well. The last of that batch that I had made the other day. And then in addition to that, I'm having some fruit. This was filled with grapes and with apple and mandarin oranges. So basically fruit and vegetables, right? Some of them blended, some of them not blended. That's been lunch for today. And then for dinner, I'll probably have some beans and salsa. I suppose in some ways this video is as much for my future self as it is for any of you watching today, because I want to record what this experience was like. I want to make sure that once I reach my goal weight, I have a way of looking back and remembering how it felt to go through this process, because I don't ever want to forget it, and I don't ever want to have to repeat it. So today is day 7 of my 14-day challenge to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks. Things have been pretty good today. No real setbacks, drawbacks, complications, or other mishaps. Skipped breakfast today, just had coffee, worship service early this morning. I don't like to lead worship or preach on a full stomach, so just had some coffee this morning, and then had a lunch meeting with one of the assistant pastors, and we ended up going to Olive Garden. Here's what I had. So there you see it. I had soup and salad. So that was a really healthy lunch. Did let myself have one, count them, uno breadstick. And that's pretty much all I've had so far today. I'm not sure how the rest of the day is going to go or if I'll be eating anything else, but oatmeal is definitely a possibility. I may have oats for dinner, but I'm actually off in just a few minutes to a home Bible study that I'll be leading, and you never know, might have a little something there, but I will report in later. So at the Bible study, the hosts made some barbecued burgers, which looked absolutely wonderful, and some delicious homemade brownies, but I passed on both and had some fruit and beans. Hey, I am wrapping up day 7 on this 14-day journey to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks, and I am enjoying a wonderful bowl of soup that my wife made from, what's in this, babe? Tell me again. Mushrooms. Onions. Golden beets.
Japanese
sweet potato. White sweet potato. Vegetable broth. Cashew and soy milk. So there's a lot of stuff in here, and it's really good. So if you've stuck around this long, you're a real trooper, because this has been a long and rambling video. And it's as much for myself as it is for anybody else, so that I can have a record of what this time was like for me. And at this point, I've lost about 4 pounds this week. So not the 5 at least that I had hoped to lose, but a whole lot better than I was doing in September. So I'll take it. So at this point, I'm about 4 pounds down from where I was at the beginning of the week, which means I've got about 6 pounds left to lose before I hit my goal of losing 100 pounds in 2025. You have no idea how many takes it took me to actually say those words, but there it is. I am going to call it a wrap. I'm going to close out this video for today. I have 7 days left. So on my next weekly update, it will start with day 8 of 14. And that will be a totally separate video as we chase down those last 6 pounds. Am I going to be able to lose 6 pounds in 1 week? To be honest, I don't think so. But I'm going to try, and we'll see what we can do. My wife is giving me the wrap it up signal. So that's it for today. Thanks for sticking with me, and have a blessed day. So 7 days in, I'm down about 4 pounds, and I've got about 6 pounds to go before I hit my goal weight of 300, and no. So at this point, I'm down about 4 pounds from where I was at the beginning of the week, and that means I've got about So at this point, I'm about 4 pounds down from where I was at the beginning of this week, which means that I've got about 6 pounds to go